All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hopefully I don't trip up here today. Welcome to this Friday edition of the MPCA meeting. Thanks, everybody, for changing your schedules. We'll go ahead and go through the agenda. We're going to start with the wave of kindness. We're going to have, I think, dining services come up and do that. Then we'll go through our regular committee updates, and then I'll talk for a minute. Dining's going to come up and talk. Beth will be up here to talk, and then I'll close it out with some hot topics around the community. And not all the hot topics. There's too many to cover them all in this meeting, but I'm going to cover some of them. Eddie, you want to take it over?
Sure thing. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so this is actually our last shining star, and then we move to the wave of kindness. So kudos to these people for winning. All right, so this is Chris. Everybody knows Chris with a K. So her shining star says, "What a sweetheart." She patiently responds to every question and request of each member of our very large group throughout the entire meal. So, this was in Simone's. I guess she did. This was I'm assuming it was a barbecue. She had two from that one. Chris was our waitress Thursday evening in Simone's. Went above and beyond to please everyone and even take pictures of certain foods to show to the residents. She never got rattled and handled the whole evening very professionally. She is a keeper. And there's some more here, but it's kind of small. But we do enjoy Chris. Chris will be going back to school. So, but you wrote her, she got it, and congratulations, Chris.
How y'all doing? All right, this is Marvin. This is our 40 West dishwasher, and he also received 2 shining stars. The first one says, "It is rare for an employee to lift the morale of a whole department. Marvin has done this. He is appreciated by everyone in dining. Thank you, Marvin." The second one is, "Oftentimes those doing a good job are out of sight and usually our minds. The dishwasher contributes to a pleasant, healthy dining experience." Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right. And Nancy, thank you for getting the TV situated. You know, Barb goes on vacation and then everything just goes to... I wanted to announce that today, that I know a lot of you know, but Barb is on vacation for, I think, 3 weeks. So I don't know who approved that, but every year around this time she goes out to California, and nobody earns that time off more than that woman. I know most of you agree with me. All right, and is Beth Nardoni back here? Okay, could I get some help with the lights?
Sure.
We're gonna turn down the lights for the next part. It was perfect timing that the TVs on the sign got running, because we're gonna show a little video. And Beth doesn't know this, but Beth, we wanted to congratulate you. Some of you may or may not know, but Beth recently won first place in the Central America Strongest Woman competition. so I don't see John Bruno. We also wanted to show this video for John Bruno today just to make sure he stays in line. Let's see if we can get it to work here. Beth, do you want to provide any color commentation for what everybody's looking at here?
This is a 350-pound deadlift, and I got 10 reps. You have a minute to see how many reps you can get within 60 seconds. You have to wait for a judge's command for up and down. So when I stand up, I have to wait for the judge to say down. I was hoping for 3 reps, so I was very satisfied with the 10.
Congratulations, Beth. We're very proud of you for that. It's about a 5-minute video, and so there's other lifts that Beth does. We'll put this video, as long as she and her husband agree, in our community app, so that if you want, you can look at it on your phone. You can watch the whole 5 minutes. Don't mess with this lady. Right? Doesn't John Bruno need to see that video? I think he does. All right, we'll see if I can advance the slide or not, though. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the committee updates. We're going to save the food committee for the last one today, but we'll start with building and grounds. Bryce, anything?
Yeah. I need to go up there.
Okay.
So we can see everybody.
As many of you know, I spent a working career with Monsanto, 12 years in Nitro, West Virginia facility. And when I went to Nitro, I was 6 feet tall, had no gray hair. And so I had to get up here so not only can I see you, but you can see me. Building and Grounds Committee met yesterday, as we do each month, and I wanted to share with you what we see as the purpose of Building and Grounds. Our purpose is to find and develop things that will enhance safety, reduce costs, and improve the living experience here at Mason Pointe. And as we meet, we talk in 2 categories: old items and new items. Old items being those which we've discussed before, in some cases have probably worked to death. And the new ones are ones that we have found or you have found and passed along to your Building and Grounds rep for us to start looking at and working on. In old items, yesterday we talked about trip hazard that's close to apartment 115. Decision's been made to grind that back to level, see what happens. There are other alternatives that you could do with that. We felt like that was the simplest. Public bathroom lighting, those are all manual, as you're aware, and they're on a good bit. And we're looking for an option to be able to do something with those and get them on a different kind of timer perhaps. But we can't do anything with those until we get the lights in the hall system, where we're going to dim those between 10 at night and 5 in the morning. It turns out that those bathrooms are on those circuits, and until we get resolved with the hall lighting, we'll just have to wait on those. Dead landscape, I know you've seen that around the site. Dead landscape has been removed, replanting here in the fall. There are moles in the south courtyard, and we did not have a status on that, so we're still trying to figure out what, if anything, has been done. carpet to be cleaned at the entrance to independent living down where Michelle sits. That's been done. Night lighting in the building, I commented on that. We're delayed electrically on that until we can figure out how to get keep the public bathroom lights on. And there's those of you that go out and turn right and go up toward Mason, I'm sure have noticed the water that runs alongside of the road. We've looked at that. Missouri Water has looked at that multiple times. We don't know where that comes from. It's not our system. Could be a spring. So we'll keep an eye on that and continue to try to figure it out. In new items, the northeastern sidewalk that was to be replaced, Ed Teeter asked for a status report. We're not sure what that is. So it's a section of blacktop that needs to be converted to concrete. And Drew was going to check that and see what the status was.
Really, that'll be next year.
2024?
Yeah, the rest of it's.
Okay. Ron Quigley pointed out to me some ivy on the wall that's kind of underneath the Bay and Simone's, about to overtake a couple of vents. And I turned a maintenance work order in for that item to pull that ivy back so that it didn't interfere with those vents. And when I mentioned maintenance work order, the system is there. If you see something that you think needs to be repaired, fixed, called attention to, don't hesitate to file a maintenance work order. It's a good system, it's easy to use, and it puts it out and makes whatever the item is, makes it visible. I was curious about all the trees on the other side of the main drive. It turns out all those trees belong to us. Our property line goes almost all the way to the Fairfield subdivision entrance road. So there's lots out there, and we've got some dead wood in those trees that we'll have to watch and have to take care of. Recycle, we talked a bit about. I guess we would believe that the plastic containers that you get in the dining room and take home and clean and recycle, those really aren't recyclable. Those are not number 6 and need to be thrown away. But the point I want to make on recycle is that if we put items with food in them or non-recyclable items into the recycle system, Mason Pointe gets fined. And that fine rate is running about $12,000 a year. So we need to be very cautious and very aware of what we're putting into recycle. If you're unsure, my recommendation is to put it in the trash. There are some windows, as a part of the window project, they have a couple of minor things that need yet to be done, and that'll get done. Drew's going to bring that up with BSI, see if we can't complete that. We had a hall announcement recently, and I don't know whether anybody understood what was being said. We certainly didn't down at 314, but we're going to do some additional training, and they're going to check the system, see if we can't clear up that and make it a little more visible. Now, I just close by saying each neighborhood has a rep. Norm Loeb and Ron Horstman on 1, Bob Bechtold and Bill Helms on 2, Ed Teeter and myself on 3. And if you see something, don't hesitate to approach your building and grounds rep. You can also simply turn in and file a maintenance work order to do that. We can't do building and grounds by ourselves. We need your input, and so don't be bashful about that. Together we can make Mason Pointe even better than it already is. So, questions, anybody? Thank you.
Just on that last point, are there any residents that have used the work order system lately that, I don't know if anybody wants to share an experience? Sure.
We submitted a couple work orders last Sunday. They were small items, but they were tended to on Monday morning.
It's a quick turnaround. You too. Good.
Really helps.
Good.
It gets attended to pretty quickly.
Glad to hear that. Just to drive that point home, you know, you can tell your neighborhood building and grounds person, but keep in mind, from the time it gets to them to the time it actually gets to where it would need to go, it's going to take longer than you could go straight to the source with Workshop. And we're still doing that training. We're still doing that once a month now. So check Touchdown. If you're not familiar with Workshop, which is our work order system, you know, we'd encourage you to attend one of those trainings. All right, next, how about employee appreciation? Any updates today? Yeah, I don't see Carol. Okay, I know we did just have, I can just mention maybe on her behalf, if nobody else in the committee wants to, go ahead.
I can, since Carol's not here.
Sure.
Yes, thank you very much. We just had the drive for the back to school, and we were able to do, I believe it was like 75 or 76 backpacks, and made 40 bags of cleaning supplies. Yes, absolutely, because I know you don't buy as many cleaning supplies as you used to, but for those of us who do, it's unbelievable. And also, I know the backpacks may not seem like a big thing, but they really are to the staff, because it is amazing how the prices on pens and pencils and papers and now required to have quite often a certain kind of backpack or calculator. So thank you so much. Thanks to your generosity, they don't have to worry about that. They can just worry about the clothes and the tennis shoes. So thank you very much.
All right, next, lifestyle enrichment. I'm sorry. Oh, Nancy had a question. Sorry, Nancy.
I was just going to make a suggestion that maybe you could plan the purchase time on the weekend when we have a no tax, so you'd be able to get more for your money.
Sure. This
I have a reason that doesn't, I agree with you, but the thing for most,
What's the question?
the question was wondering why we didn't wait and time our purchase, as we would say, so we would get more bang for our buck in what we were spending. And the main reason for that is the staff would like to have those before this weekend, so that now then they know what things they still need to go and get. So yeah, across our communities, actually all of them have been given out or will be before the school starts. But we're like you, we'd like to do that. But we do also remember, because we are tax exempt in so many of the places we shop, we are able to take our tax exempt letter, and so we don't have to always pay taxes on those things when we purchase them. Okay? Any other questions? No? Okay, thanks.
Good morning. We're with the enrichment group. Has everyone gotten their bright pink information sheet? Because when I go to the mailboxes, I see pink sheets. But anyway, please pick them up. It does tell you what's going on. Also, with our enrichment committee, we, work with the staff to, name those things that, people would enjoy. We're right now working on a survey, and that's just with the committee at this point, but it's working with the staff. So you'll be getting that soon. Please feel free to add things that you would like us to consider, but also indicate, there's 2 pages, but also indicate what you are interested in. We would appreciate that. Are there any questions or any suggestions? Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Vi.
The other half. Good morning, everyone. Since Mary didn't mention this in particular, I wanted to say, if you have not signed up, I hope you will. Harry Weber, who is an internationally known sculptor, you will have seen his Bob Gibson larger-than-life piece down in front of the ballpark. That's one of his things. He's known the world over. He's coming here this Monday at 4 o'clock to speak, and I hope you'll be with us. Secondly, we've heard comments recently on a couple of the musical events that we've held. On June 28th, the day after our last MPCA meeting, Alla Voskoboinikova was with us on piano. She was absolutely stunning, and I've heard so many comments about her. All I was tried to think of, how do I describe Alla? To me, she was mesmerizing. Then on the 17th of July, just last week, or recently, we tapped our feet, sang along, and we mouthed the words because the queens of swing were here, swinging. And I heard so many good things about that. So keep your eye, there are lots of opportunities there. Then, I'm going backwards a little bit. On May 31st, we initiated our first Illustrate the Music program here at Mason Pointe. 15 of us, seniors, listened to Claire de Lune and then painted what we thought or felt as we listened. Once our works were matted, we had a show and a party for the entrance here, and then they were displayed at Saks Library for about 2 weeks, which was lovely. And I finally got around yesterday to returning the artwork to those of you who entered. That is, all but one piece. I did not return one from a young gentleman who happened to be around that day, and he participated. I'm not unwrapping it, but this is the work of Cooper Nardone. And I want to give that to his mommy with the note of thanks. So we were really pleased about that. And then I want to go on one last, Cooper entered with the help of Ron Bishop. Ron, I think you're to be here today, and I want to thank you for giving a hand to Cooper, too. We've been very fortunate here at Mason Pointe. I try to keep lists of things because my mind doesn't work as well as I wish it would anymore. And according to my list, we've held 35 musical events at Mason Pointe beginning on June 15th of 2021. That's about 35 events in a little over 2 years. These events have included our piano dedication service, violin performances, classical guitar, flutes, barbershop quartets, brass quartets, string quartets, high school choirs, handbells, guitar, drums, Irish dancers, pianists, woodwind quintet, women's barbershop quartet, and modern dance. So we've tried to bring something for everyone. Hopefully, we will continue to highlight our lives here at Mason Pointe with outstanding musical events, along with our many, many other opportunities. Mary and I know, thank you for joining, for participating with us in these many things that are available. And as I like to say each time I'm up here, we are blessed.
Thank you both very much.
I have something to add.
Oh, we've got a question.
No, but the choir.
I forgot it, I had it on here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The choir starts.
Of course, choir and sing-alongs. It was here, and I'm sorry I talked too much this time.
The choir starts again the first Thursday in September.
First Thursday in September, choir starts again.
4 to 5.
4 to 5,
And please join us. We've got this right over there in that room.
right here. Thanks for the reminder.
We will more members. You will be singing for our Veterans Day.
Singing for Veterans
Stay.
Yeah, there you go. We'll be singing for Veterans Day, and then we'll have a Christmas program, and then a spring program. So please join us, and especially you men. I mean, we want all the women we can, but as you know, and when you see us sing, we need a lot of men. So please join us next, the first September. I don't have the date, but it's the first Thursday in September.
Okay, back to the boss.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted to share with you a program that's coming. We've been given a bus to go to the Shelton 5 times this year. And it's their coffee concerts. And you can eat all the goodies you want before, because they've got lots of goodies, and have coffee. But it would leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. and it takes about an hour to get down during the traffic hour. The next, the first one starts in October, and it will run on different months through April of next year. The price for all the tickets, all 5 tickets per person, is $85, and we're charging $5 additional for activity fee. And the time to sign up will be when we sign up for the September events, which is August the 28th at 1:45, which is after the next meeting like this. And when you sign up, it'll be for all the tickets for all the shows, and you will be charged at that time on your bill for all 5 tickets when you sign up. Is there any question about that? In the mail room, there's a pile of papers that explain, it's like this, and it explains all the 5 plays and when they are. We're going to the Wednesday event. It's held Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but we're going to the Wednesday. So if you'd like to do this or sign up or know more about the details of it, you can get this paper in the mail room down there. Also, I might add to you, coming soon, Missouri Baptist is having the plays that they've had, and we've gone to some of those before. The first big play they're going to have is Fiddler on the Roof, and that's going to be in November, for first part of November. They do have another one the end of August, but I don't know that we can get it together enough to get there for that one. Is there any question about anything? We'll know more detail on all those at a later date. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That information is, as always, in the Red Book, out on the counter. You can always look in the Red Book. Thank you.
Was there a hand back there, Ms. Pointe? Yes. It was answered. Okay. All right. So next, we'll do the Wellness Committee update. Joyce? Nope.
All right, I'm very happy to tell you that someone requested an AED refresher, and I will try to explain it with this word because I can't say very often, defibrillator. Got it, nailed it. So we combined it with a CPR, so it's AED CPR training, and let me just say that that is a refresher, an educational thing. It's not for certification. Certification will come in a future date. So if you want to go through that refresher, 15th of August, 11 a.m., and it's back in this room. Just be aware that you don't have to sign up, but we would really appreciate it because then we can get the right number of instructors to go with the right number of participants. CPR training for the staff. Now, I like this one. I know it doesn't pertain to you, but this is a comfort. You know that the staff and the dining staff and the other staff are now required to take CPR training. Yay. And they will be the 8th and the 23rd of August. So I find that comforting to know. Staff is working on making a future event for healthy food choices. We've had a number of people say, you know, how can I eat healthy? What can I order in dining? Blah, blah, blah. So they're setting up an event for that. Then I'm going to talk about some of the support groups for just a minute. Caregiver support group is going to the Botanical Gardens on the 25th of September. Now I know that's a ways away, but it gives you a chance to plan and the rest of us to be jealous of the fact they're going. Yeah. And then grief support, I want to remind you that is still ongoing for the whole month of August. It is every Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the MP Theater. But we have a surprise. We're going to do a special session tentatively on the 8th of November, and that is kind of a holiday grief thing. So just keep an eye out for that. And then last on support groups, we're considering forming a Parkinson's support group. So if you are interested in that, please let Beth know. If we get people who are interested, that's just more of an impetus to put it together. And if nobody's interested, then maybe we won't do it. But I think that would be a good thing. Now, I have speakers and events for you. 7th of August is Meditation with Kathleen in the MP Theater at 1:30. Zumba Gold is on 23rd of August in this room at 3 p.m. And I want to talk about that. Zumba Gold, you know what Zumba is. It's wild and crazy, and you get your heart going. And Zumba Gold is for seniors. Well, Beth is going to do a notch down even from that to slow it down even a little bit more. So I would encourage you to come and try. I mean, I think I might actually do it, and I have no rhythm. So you could come and watch me make an idiot of myself if you like. It'd be good for a laugh. That again is in the NPR, this room at 3 p.m. on the 23rd of August. I don't know where my voice is going, sorry. I even did a cough drop. 22nd of August is Phyllis Sparks doing forgiveness back in this room at 2 p.m. 25th of August, oh no, this is fun. You know how they say you need to keep moving? It's good for your health to move. John Bruno has a baseball hitting challenge. Back in this room at 3 p.m. Back in this room, right, 25th of August. The last thing we have is the 29th of August. Now this is different. We're going to have a speaker, actually 2 speakers, on palliative care. In this room, 11 in the morning, 29th of August. This is being done as an LSS presentation. Karen, who is our palliative care nurse practitioner, will be doing that along with our LSS liaison. So that should be, find out what is palliative care, what can it do for me, why should I be interested? And that's all I have.
You got an extra one of those?
I'll finish mine when I'm half done and you can have it.
There we go. I'm not kidding. Okay, so we'll go to the club updates next. We're going to go a little bit out of order here. I forgot to mention a couple things. I want to let you know a change in our staff. I don't know if he started telling people yet, but Chaplain Quick actually received a call to go serve as pastor at a church in Iowa, and it's a smaller congregation. So he'll be pastoring that church, but then he's also going to fulfill the chaplain role for the communities that they own in that area. So we're working with Chaplain Quick on a transition. I'm working with our director of mission, who oversees the chaplains for all the LSS communities, just to make sure that services, are not disrupted. One thing, this is one of the times, where we're blessed to be part of a larger organization where there's several chaplains in our communities. We are looking at a number of options between them, between retired board members who are interested in helping out on an interim basis. So once I have more of that information, I'll share it. Chaplain Quick will be with us, we anticipate, through the middle of September. So we've got about 5 to 6 weeks here. And I wanted to take the opportunity, mentioning that, to also introduce you, in case you have not met, our chaplain intern, Deaconess Corinne, who's sitting in the back. You mind standing up, Corinne? Would you? How about you come up and say a couple words, just to let them know who you are. We'll put her on the spot. So anyway, we'll be working to plan those interim transitions, and we'll make sure to update you all probably by email, and we'll put those in your mailbox so you know what's happening.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to get this opportunity to say hello to all of you, and I know some of your faces are already familiar, and you've already been such a blessing to me. I get to see some of you in the dining hall, in the hallways, working with some of you on some specific projects, and you're really, I am so amazed by how active and lively and engaging this community is. So thank you for welcoming me into it. I'm here Monday through Friday from 7 to 3:30, and I welcome you to come in anytime and say hi, or if you want to pray, or if you want to just visit, I welcome all of that. So thank you.
I'll take take a minute to share a neat story that happened yesterday. So over in our care center, we had a resident that was reaching near the end of life, and family had asked if we could find a priest to give last rites. And we don't have a priest on staff here at Mason Pointe, and so that's been a struggle in the past. Corinne came to me and asked, because she was talking to the family, and she let me know what was going on. And Chaplain Quick was off. I was able to get Father Finbar's phone number and gave him a call, and he said I could drop everything and do it. He said, there's one thing, is I don't drive. I called our receptionist, Rochelle. Maybe some of you know. She sits at our assisted living desk. Rochelle left in her personal car, went to pick the priest up, brought him back so he could do that, and took him home. And that resident went to be with the Lord this morning. And so it doesn't happen if Corinne doesn't start by asking the question. So I wanted to share that, and thank you again, Corinne, for asking that question. And thank you to Father Finbar for doing that on short notice. So we'll give him a nice thanks. All right, let's continue on with the club updates. Anything from Hook and Needle today?
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Donna's going to come up to Donna Casperson. I guess we just want to start right off by saying we have a new item, and we think you're all going to love it. And it's called a shrub. And here, why don't you hold this? It's folded up. Very simple. Looks like this. Okay. You put one arm in this side, one arm in this side, put over. You've got a nice, cozy, warm shrub. Isn't that cute? We have them in our shop now. We have some gray ones and a couple of these, and they're $15. So we think it's a bargain, because normally fleece like this is $10 a yard. So anyway, Donna's going to show you, because maybe some of you can't raise your arms like I just did.
Can't raise your arms.
Yeah, so
You can just gather it and then
gather it on the sides,
put it on
that way. Yeah. So, yeah.
After watching television in the evening,
If you're little Jimmy's.
I was going to ask, are you taking orders on those? Right.
If it gets to be a popular item, we'll have to, I guess. Yeah, we're trying to find fabric that's on sale, otherwise we don't, But anyway, I think I'm going to look for navy. I think navy would be a good color. I can get some more of these. So, yeah, right now I think we have 3 or 4 of these and 2 of these. And then there's a pretty plaid too, a blue plaid. So anyway, come stop by. And I noticed on Touchtown, it didn't show that we were open today, but we will be open at 2 o'clock today. We're always open Thursdays and Fridays at 2. Questions?
You might mention that they're washable.
Oh yes, the fleece. It's fleece. They are washable. They're very cozy. Yeah. So, and thanks, thanks to Laurie Willis. She gave us the idea. She had one made out of sweater, a dressy one out of sweater, and we know we had people saying they were cold in the halls and cold in the evenings. So we thought, you know what, we could try. We had some fleece on hand, so we tried one, and it was a hit. So we thought, you know what, there'd probably be a lot of other people that could use one. So that's our new hot item. We still have other goodies. some gently used things. We have lots of jewelry now. We have some more art prints for sale. All kinds of little things. Narb's trying to tell me something. Oh, the Tree of Life wreaths. Yeah, that takes a while to make, but if anybody really would like one, come and see me. So, anything else? Yeah, we did bring in $4,500, I think, since last December. So we hope to increase that, and it'll go towards the employee appreciation. Okay? Anything else? We're good.
Way to see a market and go after it. So no more talking about hallway temperatures.
I'd like to be
to
open
the
that
Flamingo
way.
Club if it comes up. All right. Anything from the library club? Anything today? All right. Anything from the Veterans Club?
Just very quickly, the next Veterans meeting is this Monday, the 7th, and we'll hear from Larry Masek about his experiences in the military, and also Casey Keel will be talking about his father who served in World War I and who kept a diary in the war. So that should be interesting. There's no meeting in September, and in October the 2nd, we will hear from Jim Higgins, who is the director of the St. Charles County Veterans Museum in O'Fallon.
Thank you, Hank. Anything from the Welcoming Club?
Yes. Thank you. We're going to be welcoming 5 new residents. And they're all in August and one in September. Pat Akers will be moving in today. And she will be in apartment 264. So if you go past there, or if you want to look her up and say hi, that would be great. We have a welcoming packet that's given to each new resident that moves in. So that's information, that they have about Mason Pointe. And then the other 4 ladies, these are all ladies that are moving in. The other 4 ladies are August 11th, the 17th, the 18th, and September 11th. So,
Yeah, what room? Apartment?
go ahead.
No, I just asked you, where are they?
Apartment.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to give you that information. Pat Akers is in apartment 264. We have 2 ladies, Nancy Helms and Joan Bechtel, who are the welcoming persons on the 2nd floor. So they'll be welcoming Pat, and then Diana Tesserau moves in apartment 258 on August the 11th. Is that what you want to know? Okay. There's none on the 1st floor, Denise. Denise is our representative on the 1st floor. The apartments 332, 356, and 315 on the 3rd floor. Fran Terramina will move in on August 17th. August 18th will be Barb Schuyler. And September the 11th will be Frances Packer. Would the ladies, you and Julie, like to say anything?
Well, I just am so thankful that everyone welcomes our new residents with open arms, and just a quick hello means so much to them, and you know how that is because it was just days ago that you all moved in. So thank you.
Is there any questions?
We have Francis Packer taken care of.
Okay, that's good, thank you. Okay, thank you again.
Feels like 2020 again, with all those move-ins. I think it's a credit to the community that everybody in this room have built here. That apartments come open, it demonstrates how many people there are that are interested and want to be here. So I think it's a credit to all of us in this room. Next, we'll go with the workshop club. Anything today? All right, take that as a no. And now we're going to finish up the updates with food committee.
Don your beret. You should have received the new August menu for Simone's in your mailbox. If you haven't looked, it's probably under that pink sheet. French-inspired food. And you may notice, those of you who've been here for a while, that the dessert is mixed berry galette. We've been pushing for that for a long time, so this was the appropriate place to put it. Remember, reservations are required by noon on the day you want to eat in Simone's, and they must be made with a dining supervisor who will give you a little reservation card. So you want to bring that with you when you come to eat, and please be sure to arrive on time. The reservations are staggered in order to enable better service. So if you've got a 5 o'clock reservation, don't think you can come at 5:30 and it'll all still be there. Please be respectful of the time that you have made your reservation for. And you may want to plan ahead, because if, like me, you called up and said, I think I'd like to eat in Simone's tonight, and we're told we're all booked up till next Saturday, plan ahead. New items for the market are on order to provide more options in both food and household items, so check in there periodically to see what else is coming. Also, don't forget, we've got those reusable green to-go containers that you can purchase, which you give, when you're done with them, they're washed and returned to you the next time you get something to go. The issue of coffee has come up again when some residents reported seeing brands other than Renoco in the coffee machines. No, food service has not been experimenting with different brands without our knowledge. It turns out Renoco has also owned both Dubuque and Henderson brands coffee, and they were sending these brands to us without us knowing that. So the staff have tried to collect all the Dubuque brands, and you'll probably see some Henderson brand also while this is getting sorted out.
It'll always say Henderson brand, that's who Renoco.
Henderson, okay, Henderson is the brand you'll see, but that is Renoco's coffee. So, sorry for the confusion, but we were surprised too. Please use the comment cards located in the pub and in the market to communicate feedback and suggestions. And as always, if there's any problem with your meal, please inform the staff immediately so a correction or a substitution can be made. They really want to provide you with a positive and enjoyable dining experience. So please give them the opportunity and courtesy. Spreading criticism after the fact isn't helpful to anyone and can create resentment rather than change. As a food committee, we have worked hard to represent your interests and to work with food service staff to provide the kind of dining experience we all desire. Is everything perfect? No. Do you like everything on the menu? Probably not. There will always be errors and room for improvement, whatever the endeavor. We're all human. Our food service staff are working continually to improve and provide a variety of options. If you have a special dietary need that you feel is not being met, please speak with Michelle, and she will work with you to provide what you need as much as possible. Are there any questions?
Not a question, but a comment about the coffee.
Coffee.
How cups are disappearing.
Well, the cups are disappearing apparently, and we thought we had that problem solved with the dispensers. So, you know, we've been down this road before.
Bring your own cup.
Yeah, either bring your own cup, or, I mean, don't be taking multiple cups because the rest of us have to pay for that. So, yeah. Okay, I would like, while the questions are coming, would those members of the food committee who offered to come up, would you do that, please? Yes.
Oh, my question was, is when we have pizza nights, whenever those are, I would like to see them also have other options for that night.
Well,
But we used to have it on Friday night where you could eat in the dining room or you could go to the pizza section. But when it was just pizza, there was no other choice.
right. Well, the question is, could we have other dining options on the night we have a pizza buffet, like this recent one that we had? And I will have to defer that to...
So we did the pizza buffet just because we had a lot of people asking it.
Okay, we did the pizza buffet because everyone was asking for it. They missed having it on a regular basis. So it's only going to be one Saturday a month.
That brings another question. Could it be a Friday rather than a Saturday?
We can discuss it.
We'll talk about it in the committee and see. Any other questions? Yes.
Is it possible that we could have a microwave oven to reheat our coffee from time to time? And then we have no toast on Sunday brunch.
I'll leave that to Michelle, who'll be speaking.
Toast is handled.
Okay, toast is coming. The problem was the toaster we had was a commercial toaster for the dining room, and that was too dangerous for residents to use. But they are going to put out a regular toaster like you have in your apartment.
And we are adding a microwave to the market.
And they're adding microwave to the market? Okay.
To buy or to use?
It's to use, but if you want to buy it, we'll sell it too. We are going to put it in the market. There's one caveat with it. We can't have residents take a plate of food and use that microwave. Like, if you're served at your table and you want it warmer, we need you to give it back to us so that we can get that re-prepared for you. And that's Department of Health issue. So, but to warm up your coffee, or if you buy something in the market that needs microwave, or you're bringing something from your apartment, want to heat it up, eat with other residents, that's what it's there for.
Anything else? Okay. I apologize for reading the rest of this report, but I want to be accurate because the issues are important and the wording was carefully and deliberately chosen. In the past, we've had to call out some negative behaviors, such as disappearing sleeves of coffee cups or missing pencils and comment cards. But at our last committee meeting, we were made aware of several more serious issues because of their negative and hurtful impact on staff members and their morale. As we, your food committee reps, discussed these issues, it became clear that many other instances of these negative behaviors had been experienced by residents, non-food service staff, and even guests. So while our committee addresses these issues on behalf of our food service staff, we are also speaking out on behalf of other staff and residents as well, because these are not minor issues, nor are they isolated occurrences, but patterns of ongoing, egregious, deliberate behavior. For example, there have been instances of verbally degrading and demeaning employees because of their assumed inferior education due to their race, where they live, or their background, calling them inept, unqualified, or stupid. Publicly belittling and shaming staff and guests, subjecting them to embarrassment, hurt, and verbal abuse, including yelling at them. Stirring up dissatisfaction and division by ongoing promotion of criticism and hateful negative gossip. Sexual harassment both through innuendo as well as lewd comments and questions such as, when was the last time you had sex? And I'm looking for a loose woman. These are serious incidents. If an employee exhibited any of these behaviors, they would be fired immediately. These actions are also fodder for a harassment lawsuit. Such a critical, antagonistic spirit, which abuses others and constantly churns up a sense of entitlement and discontent, is evil and erodes the foundation of our community. Constructive criticism and suggestions shared in a respectful and appropriate way with the proper person are always welcome. But if you are truly this unhappy or dissatisfied, perhaps this is not the living situation or the community that's a good fit for you, and you should look elsewhere. On the other hand, if you derive satisfaction from ruffling feathers, causing controversy, have a need to be in control, or enjoy the power that comes from demeaning others, your behavior has no place in our community. We all have blind spots and rely on the feedback of others to help us know the impact of our words and actions. Let us hold one another accountable by not speaking, listening to, or tolerating negative, hurtful words or behavior. In the case of the kind of bullying, harassing, egregious behavior we've mentioned, if you are a recipient of such behavior or an actual witness of it, tell the person or persons their behavior is inappropriate, leave their presence, and report directly to Drew. Let's work together to become a community known for being kind, polite, caring, and edifying towards one another. We realize not all residents claim a Christian faith, but this is simply asking for common courtesy, respect for others, and appropriate adult behavior. The golden rule: treat others as you would have them treat you. Those who do claim a Christian faith are, however, held to a higher biblical standard. For example, Ephesians 4:29-32 says, "Let no corrupting or unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is helpful for building others up according to their needs and as fits the occasion, that it may give benefit and grace to those who hear. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and resentment, wrath and anger, clamorous discontent and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Instead, be kind to one another, compassionate, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you." May each of us do the necessary self-examination so that this would be a true description of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb, for that message. I don't think I would assume the overwhelming majority of the room agrees with it. I don't think it's definitely not a topic that we prefer to discuss, right? But it's also necessary at times too. So I wanted to follow that up and just remind everybody of, if you were here at the time, we talked about the guidelines for community enjoyment. Do you guys remember that? When we looked at editing that list of what's expectations in our community, what you could reasonably expect from your neighbors. And you remember some of the comments at that time was, we didn't want to move in here for rules. We didn't want to move in here to talk about all this negative stuff. And it doesn't apply to the majority, right? But it does set a standard for what you can expect in this community, what we can hold each other accountable to, as Barb mentioned. And it's also so that all of you know what the expectation is of you too, living as a part of this community. And so I would encourage you to maybe just go back and glance at those. They are in our employee or our resident handbook. They're on page 14. And so in light of the examples Barb gave, I want to just back that up here. Here's what it says. That residents, family members, and guests shall not engage in any discriminatory behavior, including but not limited to harassment based on sex, race, or any other prohibited category towards any other resident, staff, or any other person associated with or visiting the community. It goes on in defining harassment, described as any unwarranted physical or verbal or virtual act that may cause distress or humiliation or even threaten the other person or act to violate the dignity of an individual against their consent. Okay? And then everybody signed an agreement too when you moved in. And part of that agreement was that we all agreed to follow the rules and regulations of the community. And so I say this because this is obviously not a light topic. It's not a light topic for the culture of our community. It's not a light topic it can shift the perception of our community too. But it also can impact residents' residency status here. Okay, and so Barb mentioned if you do come into contact with a situation like this, it's important that you do report it to me. It's important that it be factual, not secondhand, but factual, something that you've witnessed. And then we follow up in writing when these instances occur, and we inform the person that, hey, you violated the rules here at Mason Pointe, and it's, there's an escalation clause that ultimately would lead to eviction. We don't want to ever have to do it, but I think it's important for all of you that you know that that's the process. And so, are there any questions about that? Or any comments? All right. I think we had a pretty good and light meeting until the end here. And then we got real heavy. Doris?
I would just like to say kudos to Barb and the food
So we're at 12:05. We're through about half of our agenda. Keep going. Why don't, how about I speed through the rest of the updates and then we'll give them in writing. That way you don't miss out on at least hearing the information. Does that sound okay? Okay. So, Michelle was going to give a dining services update. I think there's just a couple things that she wanted to mention. One is that we do have a vegan menu that's available now. And so if you ask your server for a vegan menu, that's something they can get and bring to you. There wasn't room in the current menu to put it in the holders. And when we do the next print of menus, we'll put a little note at the bottom that says vegan menu available upon request. Was there any other topics you wanted? Okay, we just wanted to make sure everybody knew that because that actually just was developed, I think, last Monday is when we started it. So you should be aware of that. Beth was going to talk about, there's been some questions about how the different charges occur for different events when we have activities. And so she was going to talk and just try to explain that a little bit. We have a budget. Our lifestyle enrichment department, there's a budget set by LSS that team, follows. Now, some communities would say, okay, here's the budget that we have to work from, and they would go fill up their calendar based on what the budget could handle, right? In doing that, you put a limit on the quality of the programming that you can provide, right? I think most of us enjoy the fact that we have art instructors coming in, ceramic instructors coming in, Gus coming in every Friday, right? There's, I think we'd all agree, high quality entertainment. The Mason Pointe, the music at Mason Pointe group has brought in a lot of talented musicians. And so what we do is we say, okay, we've got this much money that we could earmark for this event. And then the cost that's above that, that's that fee that then you see get passed along to some of the events, okay? And in doing that, that really takes nothing off the table, right? Somebody give me a popular artist that everybody in the room probably likes. It's going to be different than the generation I'm at. All right, James Taylor. How about James Taylor? Is he alive? James Taylor alive? Okay. You guys like James Taylor? Let's pretend James Taylor's on the Branson tour, right? And he's not doing the arenas anymore, but we have an opportunity to get James Taylor here for $1,000. Right? Our lifestyle enrichment budget wouldn't support us hiring him for $1,000. Right? But maybe it's an opportunity that you could come see him for $9 without even having to set foot outside. That'd be pretty good, right? And so that's the methodology that we use. That's the reason that we do it that way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of my clients at the old arena hired.
Okay, so I'm going to run through the hot topics that I have. I want you to know, and pretty much all of this comes from the neighborhood meetings that you guys have. This is your feedback to your representatives in one of the various committees or the NRC. This isn't all-inclusive, but these are the ones that I thought would be good to update on. We have ordered and will be placing an air compressor down in the garage. We had a resident that had to call an outside company because they had a flat tire. We're going to put it down by that car wash area so that you go downstairs, you have a flat tire.
It's already there.
Oh, it's already there. Thanks, Ron. So it's already there. If you have a flat tire, you're in luck. We have an air compressor. Already touched on landscaping, building and grounds, twisted our arms. We were going to wait till the fall, but credit to those guys, as evidenced by the applause that followed that update. So I'm glad we did that too. I already mentioned the microwave will be available here soon down in the market. Lifestyle enrichment wait list. I want to continue to encourage people. If you end up on a wait list for one of our activities, if you're still interested in it, we would encourage you not to take your name off that list, because keep in mind, that's the list we use if we have openings that become available. Also, when we have events that fill up, we're also looking to see if there's a way we could accommodate more capacity, either from borrowing a vehicle from a different community or scheduling a different date. So just want to encourage you to leave your name on the list unless you truly don't want to do it anymore. We ran out of time, but we will get some communication out about pests and pesticides for you so that you know the products that Steve's Pest Control uses in your apartments. One of the specific questions was, when they spray in my apartment, is it okay and safe for me to return? We've been told yes, it is. And had they told us anything different, we would have let you know that so that you don't go back in. But all the pesticides are safe, but we can get you the list. That way you can make a decision for yourself. So look for that soon. We already talked about work orders. I was asked about dietitian services. I want you to know I've asked that of LSS. We do employ dietitians, and they work over in our care center and assisted living. I've asked to what extent they could be available for one-on-one consultations should you be interested in that. We know they're available to provide different education events if you would ever want to do that, but we're checking on having those one-on-one consults available. I would anticipate there will be, and I'll let you know once we have that. All right, I'll bet this is the most controversial thing I'll talk about. The joke board in the pub. Is everybody familiar? The joke board in the pub.
Love it.
I know you love it. I know that now. I want to explain that whole thing. So there used to be a whiteboard that was on the bar in the pub. And Paige would write jokes on it. Paige would write the weather on it. Paige does a great job in the pub. Yeah. The removal of the whiteboard was in no way a punitive thing or a negative shot at Paige, okay? I want to make that clear. The reason that the joke board was removed is for a couple of reasons. The whiteboards, we just don't feel fit really the look that we're going for. And
You got a whiteboard up there.
I'm sorry?
I said you got two whiteboards up there.
Where's that? Where are the whiteboards?
One that says community updates and questions and answers.
Well, this is a PowerPoint. I'm talking about the dry erase whiteboards. Okay.
We like it.
And I know she had good handwriting, but I'm just saying, you know, you saw us put the computer or the television screen up outside 40 West. We used to do the white dry erase boards over there. We removed those. This is in line to make sure that we have the look that we're going for when you walk through the community. The pub it's a highly visible place. It's a very elegant looking pub, I think you would agree. And so that is the reason for that decision. It was my decision. People, I think that there was one or two people that complained. There were different opinions on it, but I want to own the fact that it was my decision to do that. There was never anything inappropriate written on the board. That said, you know, people get offended a little bit more easily, I think, nowadays than they used to. Can we all agree on that, please? And, you know, I want you to imagine if you're running a business, would you just let somebody put a joke on the board outside your business if you don't know even what it is? Would anybody in here be comfortable with that? All right. So that's really the rationale for that change. You know, I think there could still be, perhaps it could be visit the pub, or go visit Paige at the bar and get the joke. And she can tell you the joke. But that's the reason for that change. I don't expect everybody in here to agree with me on that. But I wanted to at least give you the explanation, rationale behind it. Okay? Are there any comments or questions? I know.
It's a decoy.
I know you don't like it.
It's a decoy.
A decoy? What do you mean by that?
I mean, you're taking the information that we like away to say it's okay, and it's not okay. So, okay.
Maybe I'm not understanding, Lou.
Okay, so you're saying, so my question is the whiteboard offensive?
A whiteboard in and of itself is not offensive.
Whiteboard itself isn't
No.
offensive?
No.
Okay, so why do people have the right to, well, they do have the right, to send in an email saying it's offensive? So what I'm saying is you're using the whiteboard to take away from the quotes, to decoy it, detour around it, to say we don't want it anymore. Because a few people have sent you emails saying it's offensive. Is that correct?
No. So I'll say again that I have not gotten complaints on this.
You have not gotten any?
Nope.
Why did you remove it?
Why did you remove it?
So the rationale that I used is the one that I had just explained there, was that,
But don't
I'll explain it again then.
have anything to say about what we enjoy and what we have fun with and take pleasure in?
Sure you do. The comment was, don't the residents have input? And I would hope that from a meeting like today that you see all the different ways that residents have input into what we do here. There is a line though, and we've talked about that line with the way decisions get made. If it impacts the budget, if it impacts the brand of Lutheran Senior Services, though there will be times where decisions get made, and so that, as I said, is a highly visible area, and you know we're not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with the whiteboard. I would encourage you though, you know, you can visit a Paige at the bar and get the joke, or maybe we can figure out a different way to do it. But that's the rationale behind it. And
I personally think it's a talking point. It gets you acquainted with other residents that you might not talk to otherwise.
You need
It's
that
a
kind of-
conversation starter. I really think it's, you know,
well, so maybe there's another way we can do it. Maybe it can be written and put on the tables or something like that. We're open to talking about
We'll
that.
get around to that.
No, we're open to talking about it. No, I didn't say I'm looking into it, but I said I'm open to doing it other ways. Yeah,
Drew, I don't think it explained what's wrong with the whiteboard.
sure.
I've never even seen it.
We have a little laugh when we walk in and we talk to the servers and the bartenders and it's communication and it's just fun.
So I'm going to answer the question. You guys don't feel like I've explained what the issue is with the whiteboard.
You don't like it.
The whiteboard, we don't like the look of it. I don't like the look of the whiteboard.
So that's why we have.
And as an organization, that's not just me, that's our organization. We don't like paper taped on the wall. We don't like whiteboards, okay? And you go to any of our communities, I heard Becky say, yeah, you're gonna hear that in each one of them, okay? And that's the reason that that whiteboard is down.
So make it a blue board. Can we do it if we may change the color?
I'm open to looking at other ways to do it. I will say though, I'm uncomfortable with it being written in a public area too. And I go back to the example, if any of you owned a business, would you be comfortable with somebody else that was responsible for putting a joke up outside your business? Would you just turn that over to somebody to do? I don't think you would. And that's the rationale. What?
I don't think that's a fair comparison.
So what I've never seen, I don't know what you're talking about. Say, is it the thought for the day that's on there, or is it something that verges on the obscene that's on there?
Mrs. Sambrogio has not seen it, so she's asking what it is. It's a whiteboard. The page would write a different joke each day that just set up on the pub so that when people came in or passed by, they could read the joke. There was never anything offensive written. There were never problems with it. I never got complaints. But the change was made for the reasons I've mentioned here today.
We're not having a drink of the day then?
I'm sorry, Mike?
She used to have a drink of the day and menus up there. Is that all gone too?
No, we can say the drink of the day. We can let you know what the drink of the day is when you come to the pub.
How? They're busy as hell.
Verbally. When we take your order. Someone has to take your order, right?
Would you like to see it before you order?
Well, to get the drink of the what I'm saying is you can get the drink of the day without the whiteboard, right?
I don't know what the issue is. It's a simple little thing.
It is. It's a simple thing. I agree.
It's become a huge thing.
It is becoming a huge thing.
Yeah, move on.
I think it's visually out of place.
So the comment here is that visually it's out of place. Look, I'm going to say this, guys. This will be the last thing I'm going to say on it. There's going to be different opinions all over this room. And I agree it's a little thing. It's not a big thing. It could become a big thing in my eyes. And it could impact the Lutheran Senior Services brand. And that's why the decision was made. Okay? This is one of those where there are a lot of situations, and I hope you all will acknowledge this, that we take your feedback, we respond to your feedback. This is one of those where, it's not one of those. So, okay? All right, the last, just a few things here. Lights, Mr. Scott mentioned it. We expected that to be done by now. We ran into that issue. We expect it to be done soon, where the lights will dim at that time. We didn't want to turn the bathroom lights out at the same time. The next one, housekeeping vouchers. People are worried if you lose those. Just contact Suzanne. We're going to work with you. We're reasonable. Those are the 4 vouchers that you could use in different 30-minute blocks, or you can use them all at the same time. So if you don't worry about losing those, if you do, just let us know. And then finally, I wanted to update you on our construction project. I get asked about that a lot. We have filed a lawsuit in St. Louis County against the City of Town and Country. I think that became public information on Monday. And so, we still believe in the project. We still think it's a good project. We think it's a good project for Mason Pointe. We think it's a good project for the City of Town and Country. We think it was improperly denied, and that's the reason for the lawsuit. So we'll see where that goes. But I wanted to let you know that we have done that. And so if we have any updates in the future, I'll be sure to share those with you too. But wanted to let you know that's where it is. Okay? All right. Thank you for staying a little bit after. I appreciate it. Have a good day.